Alright, what is going on, guys? gdoggcasey here, ready for another Final Fantasy XIV tanking video. It's been a long time since I made one of these, at least a couple weeks. You can see my character has got a little bit of highlights going on now. It seems like everybody in the free company was highlighting their character's hair for Stormblood, so I went ahead and did the same thing. Say hello to the team. We have Cassie and Luna joining us once again for Snowcloak, which is actually one of my favorite dungeons from A Realm Reborn. And we are getting ready to go. So guys, I haven't fully organized my thoughts around this, but I should definitely point out that Stormblood has come out, and this, right now, like, this is actually not even just early access. This is actually the full game has been released for everybody. Whoops. So, the Paladin is going to have a few new abilities, and I'll do my best to kind of go over them as best as I can. But, like I said, I didn't really organize my thoughts as well as I probably should have before getting ready for this video. I was mostly just excited to record another tanking video and start putting these back out for you guys, because you guys have been very patient with me, allowing me to take my time and play some other games while waiting for Stormblood to come out. One thing I need to do, switch to my level 50 bar down here. But you can see the Paladin is actually gaining experience. You can also see the Shield Oath gauge up here, which is new for Stormblood. And some of the abilities work a little differently. But unfortunately for us today, at level 50, we're not going to see too much of those new abilities because most of them are locked off to me at the moment. But we can take a quick look at a couple things here. Namely, the one extra ability that I have for Stormblood that I have unlocked right now is this one right here called Total Eclipse, which is basically an AoE attack for the Paladin, which at first I was incredibly excited for, but upon looking at the skill, 110 potency to all nearby enemies, it does not provide any extra enmity, and it only does 110 potency. It doesn't combo off of anything, so essentially it's a pretty useless skill, which is very sad. Even in an instance where you're fighting multiple relatively weak enemies, even if it's like 5 or 6 of them, it still doesn't seem like it's worth using. So maybe, you know, I just haven't seen every instance in which that ability can be used. And I'm still, you know, waiting to learn when I'll be able to use that specific ability more often. At the moment, it seems like it's just not a very good ability. So, it's a little sad. Another thing they did was they rebalanced some of the cooldowns. So one unfortunate thing is that Fight or Flight and Rampart are no longer on the same cooldown. But I suppose the good news is Fight or Flight is on a much shorter cooldown, and you can use it way more often to increase your damage by 25%. So it's a very good thing. I'm liking that quite a bit. We also have the inclusion of role skills now, so they're no longer cross-class, they're all role skills. I'll leave them right there so you guys can take a look and see what's available. These are all the role skills that are available for tanks. So you can see things like Provoke are there, Rampart is there, which I thought was kind of interesting. Low Blow is a roll-wide stun, just to make sure that we have a stun available. And it is off of the global cooldown now. So the Paladin doesn't have to worry about, you know, making sure they're off the global cooldown before they can use a stun, which I think is pretty cool. Provoke is there. Another pretty cool spell called Ultimatum is there, and I do have that one on my bar, and I'll use it right now. It's basically just an AoE Provoke. Now, it works just like Provoke does, so you probably want to put it in conjunction with Circle of Scorn, because all it does is put you one above the person who has the most threat. So if you only use Ultimatum, then if you don't attack any of the enemies afterwards, you'll just lose the threat again. So it's not necessarily something that I use very often, but if everything starts to go a little bit haywire and you need something to bring everything back together, you can use Ultimatum and then follow it up by Circle of Scorn to give yourself a nice little threat lead. Alright, so I should talk a little bit about the dungeon we're in as well, which is Snowcloak, which is one of my favorites of A Realm Reborn. And we are approaching the first boss now, which is a fairly basic one, but he's got some interesting ice mechanics. And it involves stacks. And you're going to notice he's going to cast some spells that are going to be unavoidable. And he's got adds as well, which we want to take the adds down as soon as possible. Basically just like any other boss fight. And Snowdrift is going to do a little bit of ice damage, and then he's got this one. And you'll see everybody has received a stack here, and some people have received more than one. If you get up to 4 stacks of this ability, Frozen, you will be frozen solid. I'm not exactly sure the 100% specifics about it, but I know that you don't want to be there. And these AoE abilities are going to apply stacks as well, and you can see these guys got frozen solid. So they're stuck for quite a while. I'm not exactly sure how long. I guess we're about to find out. And it's basically just trying to avoid... See, it doesn't seem like it was that big of a deal. So it's basically just trying to avoid being frozen as best as you can. But overall, if you dodge the AoEs, you're going to be in an okay spot. Tundra is the one where it fills the outside of the arena on ice, and if you step on it, you will get a stack, I think. Maybe... Okay, I'm not exactly sure. Just don't step on it. Why would you step on it? We have 2 stacks on us now, but we're basically just using our normal cooldown, or our normal rotation. Our rotation hasn't changed all that much, to be honest, especially at level 50. We're still using the basic Fast Blade into Savage Blade into Rage of Halone. We're using Shield Swipe whenever it procs. Am I deep frozen now? Maybe because I was standing on the thing. It looks like I was standing on it at least a little bit. But that's okay, this guy's dead anyway. There we go. There we go. Jeez, it took a little longer than I expected. But yeah, it's very much a similar rotation. Just like I said, some of the cooldowns are a little different, so you'll have to get used to that. Here we are going through the second stage of Snowcloak. And we're taking it pretty slow today, because I figured there would be quite a bit to talk about in terms of Stormblood, but like I said, with my thoughts being unorganized, I'm not exactly sure what else to get to. I'm sure most of you had heard about the early access fiasco, which really didn't work out that well for anybody who bought in on day 1, as the main story quest was locked behind a glitch for over 24 hours. Probably over 48 hours even, although some people were able to trickle in and eventually get it done. It was still like, you can get one main story quest done after hours and hours of spamming it to try to get in, only to then be blocked by the next instance a little later on. So, it was a pretty shitty early access, but it does look like everything is working now, and that's really good to hear. Now in this area, if you're standing within this blizzard, you will take a lot of extra damage, so you want to actually just pull them out of the blizzard, and just deal with them out here. Now we are going to do a bit of a bigger pull here. So again, we can use Intervention here, and then maybe Flash, you know? Intervention into Flash seems like a decent idea. And I'll show you, like I can spam my ability here to do damage, but it doesn't really work all that well. And it costs a lot of TP as well. So it just seems like a bad ability all around, which is a shame. But not all of the new abilities are bad, although I haven't had the opportunity to play around too much with them, so you'll have to wait on the verdict there. One thing I'm really excited to bring to you is the first dungeon from Stormblood, which I think is really, really cool. I really look forward to getting there. But I won't say too much more about that. I haven't gotten as far as I kind of wish I did because of the whole main story quest fiasco. So I don't know too much. I haven't even been to the second dungeon yet, or the trials. But I guess we'll just get there when we get there, right? Sorry, I'm trying to open up a bottle of water here. We can fight all these guys. Make sure they're all on me. So here we'll use Intervention into Circle of Scorn. Not Intervention, sorry, Ultimatum. Intervention is the level 62 skill that I can't show you right now. It is Ultimatum, the one I'm trying to say. And because we have a bunch of enemies on us, we'll use some of our defensive cooldowns to make our healer's job a little bit easier. I keep messing up my combo here. Meaning I'm playing a little bit sloppy. But it's all good. Snowcloak is a very interesting looking dungeon, but it's not particularly hard. Although, one of the bosses has a really interesting mechanic, and I look forward to showing you guys that. It's kind of fun. I like it. However, we do have the one DPS player who is not part of the free company. Appears to be their first time here, so they might not know the mechanic. And if the DPS doesn't know the mechanic, it can make things a little bit awkward. So I'm just gonna say, don't hit the snowballs. Whoop. If I can type. Now, people can hit the snowballs if they know when you're supposed to hit them. But for somebody who's not quite sure, it's better to just leave them alone. And what we want to do is we want to round up all of these Spriggans, and whenever the Yeti does his ice attack, not that one, but this one, we want it to actually hit the Spriggans, but of course, we missed all of them there. What I'm trying to do, there we go. So the Yeti will hit 2 of them here and turn them into snowballs. And we want to kill this other ad who is going to try to break the snowballs, basically. Just trying to get this guy to hit me so we can freeze him. Now we want the Yeti to freeze the snowballs more than just once. It's actually 3 times that we want him to do that. This is going to hit us, so I'm just going to use a defensive cooldown. The snowballs can be bigger than this. Ah, shit. I like to let the snowballs get up to level 3. So it looks like some of them are getting hit. I might have hit one of them by mistake. We don't want to kill the Spriggans. But the Spriggans are getting killed. Did you notice we're doing almost next to no damage to the Yeti? Because the only real way to do damage is to kick the snowballs into him. But we want them to be as big as possible there. Now this one will be level 3. So now we can hit it into him, and it does very good damage. We can let our DPS handle the ogre over there. Because our main goal as a tank is to point the Yeti at the snowballs so we can make them bigger. I'll use Convalescence and a defensive cooldown here. So people are hitting the snowballs when they're level 2, which is okay because they still do damage, but I think it's better to do it when they're level 3. So try to position the Yeti to get as many Spriggans as he can. So we got all 3 of them there, so that's very good. We don't want him to move. Yeah, it looks like he might get 2. Luckily, oh, he got all 3, wow. Somebody hit one of them away. No, let them get to 3! When they get to 3, they do even more damage. And there we go. He's basically dead. At this point, we can just DPS him down. There we go. So that's the only thing you have to know. The thing is, if you don't know it, then the Yeti can stay alive forever. And now we're at the final stage. This stage is relatively simple. More groups of mobs here. We also, one thing I didn't notice is we have a samurai in the group right now. Luna's playing the samurai, which if you guys want to check out, I actually have a video on the channel. Sorry about that. My throat's getting a bit scratchy from the commentary today, because it's been a while since I've done like focused talking in a video. I guess my throat just is getting accustomed to it. It's happened quite a few times when I come back to recording after I haven't been for a while. But yeah, there is a samurai video on my channel if you want to check it out from the 24-hour stream highlights. I think the samurai is an incredibly good class that is almost definitely going to have to go through some nerfs, which a lot of people had already seen coming. And in this section, it's basically just fighting waves of enemies until the next door opens up. So if you're not sure where to go, don't worry about it. Just kill all the enemies that are here, and the way will be opened up to you. I'm just rotating between all the mobs, just hitting everyone. Getting out of detonator. Kill that guy. Kill this guy. Move on to this one. Shield swipe, and you're done. Another one though. There you go. Looks like Luna wanted to take on that Spriggan all by herself. And you can. As a samurai, and with the new DPS roll abilities, it's much easier to take on enemies one-on-one in a dungeon setting like this than it was before. Plus, like I said, it helps when you're a samurai and you do amazing burst damage. Alright, and the final enemy of this section. Taking that hit, it did almost no damage to me. I popped Sentinel a little late, but that's okay. Like I said, this dungeon's relatively simple. There's not really a lot of chances to die here. It's just a beautiful area with very nice music, cool enemies, but it's not very hard. This person will turn into a dragon. I imagine it's possible to kill it fast enough before it turns into one, which is probably what we should have done. But it's not a huge deal. It just means it takes a little bit longer. There we go. We're already almost at the end here, so I'm gonna focus this guy. We'll see if we can kill him fast enough. That doesn't look like it. Thought we might have been able to. Some people might have questions about, like, when is it right to move from enemy to enemy. Honestly, I don't really have an answer for that. I just do it kind of randomly. I like to use my big hitting abilities on the units that have the most health for some reason, just because I feel like if they have the most health, it means that I haven't hit them in a while, and I should probably hit them with something good to make sure that they stay on me. And here we go, guys. The final boss of Snowcloak already. And there it is. Fenrir. And this guy's got some interesting mechanics as well that we got to keep an eye out for. But it's relatively simple. Just follow the lead of everybody else and you'll be fine. We're going to face him away from the group. Going to use our basic combo, and we're going to keep an eye out for his abilities. Thousand-Year Storm. Just looks like it did a little bit of ice damage to everybody. It's basically just something to give the healer something to do, to heal more than just a tank. Now he's going to call down these icicles. 2 of these icicles are going to fire ice at a specific target. The other one sticks around and will eventually break. Now the first time, there's nothing to do with that crystal. See, it's going to explode there and do some ice damage. However, the second time, we'll want to keep an eye out for what Fenrir is doing. And he's casting Lunar Cry. We want to hide behind the crystal. Or else you'll get frozen and die like the Black Mage just did. That's fair. This is the Black Mage's first time through, so still learning the mechanics. So we'll dodge this. Besides that, just keep doing your rotation, you'll be totally fine. There's literally nothing else to be worried about here. So this is the second time these crystals are coming back. They're going to fire their thing, and now he's casting Lunar Cry. So we just come hide behind this crystal. Now see, when you get frozen by the boss like that, it looks like he targets you specifically. I actually didn't even realize that, but you really don't want to get caught out. Maybe it would have been something that I probably should have typed out before the fight. So I feel a little bit bad that I didn't do that, because it was clear that he was new to the dungeon. So that's my bad. I apologize. But nevertheless, with the limit break coming out, Fenrir's gonna die, and we're good to go. And that is Snowcloak, people. And I hope you guys enjoyed it, because Snowcloak is one of my favorite dungeons, as I've said a few times already. I love it, and I'm always happy to do it. And that's going to do it for this video. So, just so you guys know, I will be releasing these videos on a more regular basis once again, just like I did before. We'll give the Black Mage commendation there for dying for us. And we don't need any of this. So yeah, you guys will be seeing some more Final Fantasy XIV content coming out. Again, thank you for allowing me that time to take a break. I really appreciate it. Now that Stormblood is out, we are back in full force. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Stay tuned for more coming soon. And we'll see you next time. Oh yeah, check this out. New sprinting animations. Now he looks like he wants to kill something while he sprints. It's pretty cool. Alright guys, we'll see you next time.